Hey guys, welcome back to the Posted series. Here, I'll show you what we're on. Today, the thing is Matt V. That's another name of a person. I love this one. So this one, when I worked at Planet Fitness, one night I was lifting and it was late because I would get off at 10 p.m. So it was probably like 11. I see this kid who I recognized. He went to high school with my brother. So as I was lifting, I had this strong urge to pray for this kid, and this is one of the first times this ever happened to me, really. This is the start of my evangelism, and so I love this story. But anyways, I was lifting, and I had this strong, it was 100% the Holy Spirit telling me to go pray for this kid, yet I was denying it, and I'm like, oh, I'll just wait, maybe I'll do it in a second, I'll just wait. I kept just kind of like putting it off. After a little bit of self-doubt, questioning, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not happening. And so this kid, I see him walk out, and as I see him walk out, I'm like, no, I gotta go do this. So I literally followed him outside. Probably not the smartest thing to do. He's a big kid, he's a scary dude. And so I followed him outside and tapped him on the shoulder, and I kind of knew him, and he would kind of know me. Like I said, he played football with my brother, or he went to high school with my brother, played football with him. I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, yo. Dude, he like jerks back. Like, I thought he was about to kill me, bro. He's this big dude. And I'm like, what up, dude? And he's like kind of out of it. I could tell like he was just confused while I was talking to him. I just asked if I could pray for him, and he settled down a little bit. He's like, yeah. And so I prayed for him, I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the story. I go home, and a couple days later, I went on my first ever fast. This is when I started to get closer to God, and I wanted to just try this. Someone told me that it would, or actually I think I saw it online, that it would help with just killing my flesh, and living for God. And I knew, and I wanted to get closer to God, so that's what I did. And so I went on this fast. I went on this fast knowing I didn't have work the next day. I also, at the same time, was on a really bad sleep schedule, and I needed to fix it for work. And so I ended up staying up the whole night before this day. Which is dumb because I was fasting and doing that. It wasn't smart, but I needed to do it. I had no food and no sleep for 24 hours. I remember I was in the shower, literally right here. And I was in the shower, and all of a sudden I get a message from my work app saying upcoming shift. I look at it, I'm freaking out. I had kind of just started the job, so I'm not going to call off. I started freaking out. I was like, I'm not supposed to have work today. What is going on? I knew I wasn't scheduled. Like, I know I wasn't tripping. I'm not supposed to have work today. No one called in or anything or talked to me about this. I'm not supposed to have work today, and I was scheduled. So I'm low-key freaking out. I was struggling with a lot of, like, ADHD stuff, and at this time I was praying to God to help me with that stuff, and I was, like, tripping because I'm like, there's no way. I'm locked in on scheduling right now. Like, I'm locked in with my ADHD. I don't want to do this. Like, God, what are you... I was low-key praying, because that's why I pray in my shower. And I was kind of mad at God. I'm like, why would you let this happen? I'm trying to work on ADHD and all this stuff. And so I'm like low-key pissed off. And my mom hears me like tweaking out in the shower. She comes up, kind of knocks on the door. It made me so much more angrier because she almost knew what happened somehow. And she just knocks on the door and she's like, Seth, you just got to go to work. And I knew that was the answer. She said, I feel like God's calling you to work today. And I literally knew that. And that's why it made me so much more angry. And so I'm like, okay, I'm pissed off, obviously. I got no sleep and no food. I'm low-key tweaking. And I'm like, I just gotta go. So I go. I had an 8-hour shift. And obviously, you guys can tell how bad the workday was. I mean, 8 hours of shift with no food and no drink, too. Or no food and no sleep. I was cooked. And so I get to this work day, and I just knew that God was going to do something. But at the same time, I was low-key tweaking the whole day. I get to this day, and literally 10 p.m., like, it's when I would get off. I worked at 2 to 10 that day. And 10 p.m. is when I would get off. And the minute I get off, that kid I prayed for walks through the door. Now, that kid doesn't know my schedule. He doesn't know when I get off work. He doesn't even really know me. He comes up to me, or comes up to the desk, and goes... He kind of like motions me over to like the side. He's like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, whoa. I was like looking kind of scared. Nah, not really. And so I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I go and I go to walk up to him. He's like, dude, I feel like God just told me to come tonight, right now, which is perfect timing because I got off work at that moment. And there it was, the thing that God needed me to do. And I ended up talking to this kid for like an hour and a half about God. And it was just really cool. And like why he needed me that night, what he's been going through and stuff. And I kind of told him my testimony, and we just talked for about an hour and a half. Like, it was like, I don't know how, if it was that long, but it was a long time. And I actually remember too, my dad, because I didn't have a car at the time, so my dad had to pick me up. And he walks up to the door, sees me talking to him, and just knew what it was, and just walked. He just goes, all right, and walks out, and goes and sits in the car while I talk to this kid. But it was really cool, and then I became friends with this dude. He's like, dude, I don't really let a lot of people in, and so it was weird for him to ask me to be friends, you know, and I was like, dude, I'll be your freaking friend, bro. And so I talked to him, and I talk to him now whenever I see him lifting and stuff, and he's a cool dude. I know he's got my back too, and I hope he knows I have his too. But it was just something really cool, so undeniable. God God ordained, something stirred in my heart, you know. It's something I couldn't deny. And so that was the second thing I wrote down, or the third thing, I guess, I wrote down on that list. That was pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys enjoy these. I really love these. Love you guys. I missed! I dang it, bro. Gosh. Yep. Chopper! Green.